welcome back to Young and Unscripted. I have a really exciting guest on today. We have Joe Flynn joining us on the podcast. Welcome, Joe.
Hello, everyone.
How are you?
Good. Very busy, but
yes.
Good.
Amazing. Could you just start off by telling our audience a little bit about yourself and who you are?
Yeah, so I'm Joe Flynn. I'm an actor, writer, and a creator of Drive and Mixed Colours Extravaganza, which was at the Theatre Peckham, and now has got another run at the Seven Dials Playhouse.
Amazing. And could you just give us a quick synopsis about Drive and what it's all about?
Yes, so Drive is about four boys from a council estate in East London who start a band in a youth club when they're really young. And then we sort of meet them again when they're 18 and they're sort of going to graduate this college with next to nothing, no real future in sight. But they've got this band that they keep secret and they realise if they commit to it, they'll end up becoming a massive success. And that is exactly what happens. So.
Amazing. And where was the inspiration for that? Where did that come from?
My life.
Yeah.
No, well, I mean, yeah. So I went to school in Essex, sort of East London, and what I just knew, I always knew that I wanted to be an actor. I was always interested in doing that, and but I never felt like I had people around me that could kind of do the same thing, and I was always really sort of scared to do it as well, I think.
Yeah.
And I had this idea about writing a play about like the boys from like where I'm from and like my mates and stuff like that. But I didn't have the confidence to do it. So I took these caffeine tablets in my A-level sixth form common room, and I was literally just like wired in like a free period.
Okay.
So I just like wrote this like scene, and then I sent it off to the Royal Court, and they actually got back to me and was like, that was like really, really good. But it's a bit offensive. Okay. You need to be careful of that. And I was like, okay, yeah, I took that note. I still get that note now. And then, yeah, I sort of just always had it in the back of my mind. And then when I left school when I was 18, I knew I was going to be an actor. And I'd done some West End shows. And I was like, okay, like, how am I going to do this? Like, really do this, And then this idea came back to me again in a Costa Coffee in Holborn. And
I love this specificity.
I know, because it's so specific to me.
Yeah.
Every time I see Costa now, I remember like being outside and this idea, it just comes, like some things just come. Mm-hmm. It just came to me and I was like, oh wow. And then I knew I should pursue it. And then I went to drama school, I kind of did it as a short film. And then when I left, I was like, okay, I really need to just do this.
Yeah, put pen to paper and just...
Crack on, put pen to paper and just... I think it's just time to write something. Mm-hmm. Like it's the actual time and the commitment to sit alone in front of a computer screen and just churn it out. And you don't know until you get into a room if it's going to work.
Received, yeah. And had you ever written before, except for the short extracts you sent off, or was this your first?
I wrote a few things. I mean, I was very young then. I was like 16. I'd wrote a few things, but nothing like... I always used to copy people's song lyrics. I remember I used to do that. I remember I showed my dad with this one thing. I was like, Dad, I wrote this song. And it was literally just like one of Ed Sheeran's songs. And literally he was like, at first he was like, whoa, like this is really good. And he's like, hang on a minute, have I heard this song on the radio? So I always used to do stuff like that. But I did write a play called Marjorie, actually, that I did chat to the Theatre Peckham about when I was younger. And I want to bring that back, but Drive is the time.
Yeah, I'm going to focus on that. Yeah. So what about the music inspiration then? Because obviously you said the boys are in a band. Mm-hmm. Where did that come from?
Me and my mates, we used to just go out in my mate's car and we were just driving around and obviously we'd just, be having fun and whatnot. We would go out and just like sometimes we would kind of just like obviously be chatting and stuff, but then the tunes would come on and we'd just start singing.
Yeah.
And I always knew I had this idea about writing a play about my friends. And it's like when I saw us all like banging it out to George Michael, I like knew that there was something really special about this. Yeah. There's special about boys like this doing stuff like that, and the innocence and the vulnerability and all that sort of stuff, and revealing oneself in a car and singing is the way to do it.
Yeah.
I think that's really where the music that's where the idea, then it inspired it for me. And in terms of the music making, we've got an amazing MD called Brooke, and he's from a band called No Guidance. And I mean, he's like super talented. I did a West End show with him when I was younger, and he's amazing. So he's really just helping us like piece together the music. I've like wrote a song, not an Ed Sheeran lyric. It's like actually is like my own song that I've wrote, and he's really just piecing it all together.
Okay.
And we're trying to find. We've got this original song, but then it's like a mashup of like all the things you would really like. So we've got Keisha Cole "Love" in there.
That's one of my favourite songs.
It was because like there has to be a song where Frank listens to it and he gets heartbroken.
Right.
But at first it was Taylor Swift "Love Story," but then I was like, I need to do something for the culture, and I think I've never heard that song in a theatre space before. So I was like, that seems like the right thing to do.
Yeah, it's an amazing song.
It's so good. So good.
I'm interested in when you said a little bit earlier about when you said boys like this doing things like that. What do you mean by that?
I think, look, I'm from a council estate in East London, and I think there was never really an opportunity for me growing up to really do things that I want to do.
Right.
I had a youth club that shut down. I mean, it was so many different things that would happen. And I think, especially in theatre, working class stories and just like boys from the hood, you know, need to be seen in a way that is positive. And I think that's what it really is like it's putting those people like that, like on a stage and creating it and in like a showman sort of format.
Yeah.
It like elevates their presence beyond just being like someone that you would see going to budgeons, like getting a KA. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's really the goal. And like role models and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and I feel like you've kind of touched upon that now, but why do you feel like this story needs to be told right now in 2025 for audiences?
Whew. Money? No, I'm joking. No.
We all need a bit of money.
I mean, look, young men are struggling right now. One of the schools that are going to come down and see our show, I was chatting to her. She's a former teacher of mine, and she was talking about young boys. And she was just saying, you know, like, even like when I was younger, I was cheeky. Me and all my mates were cheeky, you know, cheeky chappies, whatever, proper lads. But there's people like that of a dying breed. Because social media has changed everything. It's made people just like absorbed on the screen. And I think if you see these four lads on stage and you see them singing and making music and figuring themselves out in a quite active and expressive way, and you get boys like that right now into the theatre and get them to see themselves in that way, I think it should activate an expression. Yeah. And there seems to be that sort of avoidant mentality with young men, where they're not present. They're not, and also they're afraid to be themselves. They're afraid to be alive, connected, you know, vulnerable. And like the show is all about showing all of those beautiful colours and their intricacies, and just like celebrating that, you know, celebrating their own humanity. Yeah. So yeah.
And what do you think is so special specifically about the characters you've created and their dynamic? What are audiences going to relate to with that?
Frank, he's a heartbroken soul. He's like the leader of the band, like the Gary Barlow. Right. And he's got this girl that he's not really sort of paying attention to because he's so focused on proving something to himself in the music. And spoiler alert, but they break up. And he's sort of trying to figure himself out through that. And grow from that. And it's that sort of very early infancy, childhood, sweetheart love that some of us do go through. And it's exploring things like that. And I think that will be a real pull for an audience. And, you know, and they're two people from a council estate, so they've got their own problems, they've got their own issues, and, you know, they go back to one another. They want each other, but they don't want each other. Yeah. Kind of like modern love story, yeah. Gavin and Stacey, you know. So I think that would be a big pull. And all the boys are just so characterful, and that individually they've all got their own kind of we call it baggage. Like they've all got their own baggage that they're trying to get over. Frank is his heartbreak. Jordan is him being a drug dealer. Jay is his sort of pressure from home and like wanting to really pursue music. And then Ibrahim is a refugee. So he's having to try and make something himself in the world, figure out what that is in a world that maybe is not for him in this country. So they've all got their own things that they're going on, but I think it's like linked for a common humanity through the music.
Yeah.
And that's the important part.
And talking about Frank, you're playing Frank in this iteration,
Yeah.
aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
How has that been, kind of trying to differentiate between actor Joe and writer Joe? Because I can imagine that's a nightmare.
Sleep.
Yeah.
Like sleep. I'm quite disciplined and I've got good routines where I can just like change things up. I work like 4-hour schedules when I'm like writing, and then I'll do something else. But I think because it's quite personally tied to me and like my experiences and stuff, it is something that is an amalgamation in between. But it's that thing, and I've got a great team around me. So, when I'm not writing, I can have someone else do that for me or supporting that work. And it means like when I get into a rehearsal room, I can just go.
Just act, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just something I think, because it is like elements of my life, it's like it's always accessible.
Yeah.
In any way.
Yeah.
And it's within me now, really.
Yeah, and it's like, who else better to tell that story than the person
Yeah,
who
although
lived it?
I'm sharing the role with an amazing actor called Harry Sinkins, and he was in the last one at the Theatre Peckham.
Yeah.
And he really is like a gem. He's got a voice like Adele. And I can sing, but I can't sing like him. So we share it. And the goal with them is like, once we finish this version, is we're going to look at like a tour, like a national tour.
Nice.
Maybe the States, maybe.
Yeah.
So, is to like, who knows what happens at that point, but it's to create an expansion and a world for like working class artists and creatives that they can just like hop on and jump on at any time. And be a part of a bigger thing, really.
And as you said before, you weren't acting in it. So what pulled you towards acting in this situation?
Or I think I just needed to do it. I needed to do it for this one. And also, I think a lot of people wanted to just see me do it as well.
Yeah. Because
they've seen me work on it for quite a long time, and. But obviously I'm famous as well, so like when I'm like performing, that helps. Obviously I'm not, but I think just it's about there's a truth that I think I'll bring to it, because it's so much tied to the experiences that I've known and lived, that I think will be really special once shared on stage.
Yeah, and what do you think's been the biggest difference between acting and then directing in the previous one? You directed it at Theatre Peckham.
Yeah. It's all lessons at the end of the day. The Theatre Peckham was such a lesson, be it directing, and just like you really see, especially in the casting process, and when you're in the room, like the brilliance of people. Yeah. There is this innate gift that people have, and I think the duty of our lives is trying to allow that to kind of come to fruition. And as a director, an amazing playwright one time when I was at the Royal Court at like a talk, he basically said that you don't need directors.
Right.
I kind of do agree with him a little bit.
Tell me why, because I feel like I kind of see it, but then I've also been in things where we're all like, you know what, let's try and do it, but then there's too many cooks in the kitchen.
True. And that is the point. It's someone who can coach, I would say.
Yes, yeah.
Like the gift, especially in theatre, is not, lighting, sound and all can make it amazing, but, we're all there really for the words in a way, in the story. The story is the most important. And it is being breathed upon in a very big way by actors.
Yeah.
And I think good directors allow those actors, or allow anyone in the team really, anyone, but particularly the actors, because they're really sharing a part of themselves in a really, really vulnerable way that is like intimate and physical, allows the actors to really push that through. And I think that's what I learnt the most, is like I could sit and I could write something and I can come up with stuff. But then we get in the room and then like someone's saying it and it changes. Yeah. And we did lots of improvisation. There's lots of interaction with the audience. I can't write that stuff. I have an idea, but then, you know, it's like looking at the thing as a whole and then just following what that is. But you need other people to really bring that through. So I think, yeah, directors are people. They're great, obviously. I'd love to work with many great directors.
Don't cancel.
Yeah, don't cancel me just yet. But yeah, I think that's what I learnt the most is the beauty of collaboration, I'd say, and just really just trying to get the best out of people. And I think now, because I think it is right for me to be in it, just from a more of a truthful perspective. Now we've got this guy Aaron Fontaine directing. I think he's going to bring, you know, all these unique qualities, and he's really going to amplify that truth as well.
Yeah.
And make sure that we don't all kill each other as well.
Yeah, because it can be hard. It
can be hard. Yeah, it's not easy.
And with that collaboration, then, has there been anything in the rehearsal process where you thought, oh my goodness, I could never have even imagined that it would have taken this route, but this is so necessary for this story and for this time?
Yeah, we did some recalls the other day, and like Aaron is so much like about improv, and I'm just sitting back, I'm just watching at this point. And Harry did this amazing scene, and it was all improv. And I felt like, as the creator of the thing, that I was seeing an episode of it on television.
Right.
I could, because I know and that is the goal of ours. We're looking to get it on TV and like having those conversations at the moment. So when I watched, I was like, oh, that is an episode. That is Frank and Abby going down to like it was like the abortion clinic and dealing with that, you know. And it was a beautiful, you know, that was funny, but it was like all these different range. And I thought, wow. And it's like I had an idea of like that might be some of the things that might go through, like an idea when you're creating backstory and stuff. But only when you get in the room and then you're just seeing these people just work. It's like it's in the flesh.
Yeah.
So that's amazing to see. We've not started rehearsals yet. We start on Monday, so I'll have more to comment on how that really works. But I think what Aaron is naturally doing is like what I've wrote, and because I've rewrote it for this version as well, is quite funny. Not that I am funny. My dad is a stand-up comedian, so I think it's in my bones.
The funny gene comes out.
It's the gene of mine, but he's going to bring a truth to that comedy. Like if a character is saying something that's just so ridiculous because it is funny.
Yeah.
It's like Aaron is going to be really great and is great already about trying to get the truth in that moment. How can you say the most ridiculous thing? Like ridiculous. There's so many ridiculous things in this show. But say it with truth and say it with confidence and not go, I'm telling a joke, you know.
Yeah, and
not laugh
to deliver
as
it
well,
as a joke.
Like how can you get your own mindset to like, I'm going to exist in the absolute madness of this all.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And what was that casting process like? When people came in, were you like, okay, no, you are this character, or was it hard? Were you kind of going back and forth between people?
Yeah. I mean, like, there's so much talent out there in London. I mean, oh my word, like, and it is never about like, it is never about, you know, you not being good or not. It's just about what's right for the thing. I think what we got to pick people that have good chemistry. That's really the main thing, especially with the boys. And luckily, like we all kind of know each other as well. Part of an amazing theatre company called Mactub, so we've all kind of come through that rank, and we've got like you know years on us of friendship. So that really helps us all kind of just like we have a way of going, we have a way of bantering and stuff, and we can just go in, do the work, and get the best out of each other. And then I think with Abby, because a girl called Megan is playing Abby, we really needed someone that can not only play Abby, the character Abby, but also could play, like, be a hybrid. You know, she's playing a copper in it. She's playing this character called Nitty Natalie as well. You know, she's got a really hard job.
Yeah, she's doing a lot.
But she's amazing. Like, she's just so, like, committed. And when she come into the room, she was just so, like, ready to go. So it's finding like what is best for the thing. But I think chemistry is the main thing. It's that thing, like, especially when you're telling, you know, comedy, you've got to have sort of funny people around you.
Yeah.
You've got to have people that can like know how to access that funny bone and not afraid to like humiliate themselves in order for a laugh or a joke. And then you got Aaron then who's like stemming it all through truth. Like, yeah, so.
And you said to me that obviously it's evolved the play a lot from when you did it at Theatre Peckham.
Yeah.
How has it evolved? What are the biggest changes?
Oh, I don't know. I really don't want to spoil it.
Okay.
There is like there is one bit in it that is particularly. I mean, he's like such a huge part of the show.
Right. So don't spoil it for everyone.
The only thing I can say is that he is a member of a very famous band, and he makes an appearance in this show in a very extravagant way. And really sort of leads the thing. But I think when I did it at the Theatre Peckham, it's the Fringe Festival, so I had to review like what worked, and the main thing that worked was like the humour and the fun of the show. It was a funny show, you know, people just seeing people like that trying to just figure themselves out is just really funny.
Yeah.
And I think I really wanted to play to the strength of that, and then create a world that could support them in that like madness and that chaos. Because one scene that we've sort of really kept and stemmed through is that they practice their music in a bando. And, you know, like what happens when one of them doesn't turn up and that one of them doesn't have their DJ deck and they're having to use Natalie's heroin needles, you know, to like try and figure out how to like make sound.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that. That I think I really wanted to like push and just pay homage to. It's only an hour, so you know we don't have the time for this version to really just like give them that kind of rich character depth. We do, of course, but then also it's done through a more contained, and I think it'll be more specific when it does, and it will really hit you.
Yeah.
But for the majority of it, it's about getting an audience to come in and just have a good time.
Yeah.
And enjoy themselves, you know.
I think people need light in
They
this
do.
in this
And
day.
love.
Like, I feel like there's so many things that are beautiful, but they feel quite heavy. I think sometimes. And
Yeah.
It's nice to just go to the theatre and be entertained.
Especially like in that working class kind of demographic, you know. All my friends is like they call it working class trauma porn. Like sometimes it can be made in that way.
Yeah.
Whereas actually, like if you are from that background, like you know, that's just your life. So it's about. But you're always. I think one thing that comes from that is this spirit of just charm and like humour and just, you know, kind of laughing for anything. And I think this show and these boys really represent that.
Absolutely. And then what were the challenges from Theatre Peckham not from Theatre Peckham the institution, but from the version of Drive?
Don't get in your own way. Don't get in your own way, from my perspective, from everybody's perspective. You know, I think that's like, I directed it before. And, you know, because I'm like creating it, you know, you're stemmed on so many different ends. But now I've got Aaron who's really going to kind of help just, you know, take that lead. So that was like a big lesson. And I think just the logistics of putting on a play.
Yeah.
You know, like, someone's got a wedding that day and also that person's got a baby shower. You know, like today's meant to be a musical, guys. We are literally meant to be practicing for our band.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like it's managing those things that is really just the main challenge. And then just always just like figuring out what you want to say. Like, I was at an event last night with our charity that sponsors us called Ice and Fire, and you know, it was people reading their testimonies from their experiences, and I don't know, like it's always a big ask to ask people to come down and watch something. You got to know what you want to say. You got to know what the thing is about, and you know, it's got to have I think art has to have some clean cut vision. It can't be wishy washy. It has to be something quite definitive. You have to be sort of making a mark on something, because life is wishy washy, right?
Yeah.
We're all trying to figure out how we like make sense of it and stuff. But then art gives you the opportunity to go, no, this is what I think. Oh yeah, that's what I think about that one thing. Cool.
Yeah.
And I think there's always that, like, what is it that you're trying to say? And even with this version, you know, because I looked at the more practical elements about what worked with the show. I was like, you know, what really is this message? And I think all good things are about love.
Yeah. I think the whole human experience, I really believe that everything stems from love, whether it's a loss of love or yearning for a love, or I agree.
It's all about love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And would you say that's your message for this play?
Yeah. There is a line in the play that if you lead your life with love, love will follow you. And
That's lovely.
yeah, I wonder who wrote that. Yeah, so that, I think that really is what it's about. It's about, using your heart. And I think the unique thing about our show, I mean, it's like weird, we all know those things, but then life happens, people get in the way and whatnot. But I think the unique thing about our show is it's for people who are like these lovable rogues and these vagabonds that you wouldn't expect them to give you that message.
Yeah.
And it's like, if they can give you that message, then imagine what you can do.
Yeah, and then listen to it, listen to the message and
listen
live
to it,
that
yeah.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the charities you work with, such as Ice and Fire. They did a workshop with you, didn't they?
They did?
Yeah. Can you
Yeah,
talk to me about that and why you
Yeah.
thought that was such an important thing to include in your process?
Yes, so Ice and Fire are an amazing theatre company that sort of specialise with refugee experiences. And look, I'm not from that experience, so I've grown up around people that are from that experience, but I am not. And I think it's really important when you're creating something that you've got the right people who can help you facilitate your vision.
Yeah.
And anything that needs real specific quality, that they can provide that. So Seb from Ice and Fire come in and he ran us a workshop and he talked us through how the asylum seeker process worked for real. And it's shocking stuff, it really takes you aback. And I've done a lot of work with that company, and every time I sort of read testimonies for people from that experience, and every time I do it, it really moves me. And I think Seb was able to provide those testimonies to us in the room, so he sort of shared this out, and we was able to, the actors were all able to sort of understand more about the world, and particularly Ibrahim, the character of Ibrahim. And yeah, it's really it's that invaluable support that I definitely wouldn't know. And I don't think anyone else in the room would really know.
Yeah.
And they give you that specific quality of it, which then I think, especially when the show is funny, they can provide a truth to it that we just can't, and make sure that we're not, pushing the boundaries too much.
Yeah.
But then also give us the encouragement to go no, make it does it. Experiences don't always have to be doom and gloom, right? They can be everything, and I think that's what he really, really provided, and that sort of in-depth insight to how that process really works, and allowed us all then to have a discussion about that, because they're all from different backgrounds, and where are we at with that? Where are our families at with that? And how does then that influence the show that we're going to make and the story that we're going to tell? Despite all the politics.
Yeah. And as a writer, how did you find that process of writing about an experience that you potentially hadn't lived but had been around? Was that was his character the most difficult to write, or how tough, really tough. But the support that we was given, I mean, when you're reading and you're getting this sort of real experience of what people are actually going through, it really helps you build a formidable backstory. Probably more than the other characters. He's probably the most developed character in the show because of the support that we were given. And yeah, it's tough because also you're going okay, well, God, I really hope I don't mess this up. Yeah. But I think the thing that strikes me about Ibrahim is, and I think even before I even knew that he was a refugee in my mind, was this thing about being silenced. The world has a way of shutting people down, and the people that in my life that I was interested in, who when I was thinking about the way that they are, their physical being, and their behaviour, and their attitude to the world, and I think how London has treated them as well. Yeah. That was the thing that I was interested in.
And I think everyone can, in a way, relate to the feeling of being silenced.
Yeah.
And then Ibrahim's gift is that he kind of only speaks when he sings, and he really is the strongest singer in the group. So it really just shows you how powerful, and the music will then, it really sort of carries the message about what the whole thing is about. But then I think is about, you know, when we silence one voice, you know, well, it's going to go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And for him, it's his talent. So the actor Gavin has got a big responsibility
to singing.
Yeah, he's really got to, you know, pull out some amazing stuff. So.
And you've also worked with organisations like Mind, where the mental health charities. How has that influenced your work? And again, why was that important?
Mind and another organisation, Tough Enough to Care, that really sort of provided that like mental health support and just, you know, getting us in contact with the right people. Alex from a Tough Enough to Care, he come in and run a workshop, and that was fantastic. You know, like because I was wanting to make something that's funny, and it's teenage boys from London. You know, it's bullshit humour. Like they're not afraid to say certain things, and teenagers are like that. They say things without thinking twice. They don't have that censorship, and I wanted to touch into that. And I think when Alex come in and he goes, this amazing workshop on like men's mental health and like just all about sharing the love. When we were at the Theatre Peckham, I realised I needed to change it. Like I needed to just like introduce more love into it. I was so conscious of trying to make a show that was like funny and was like represented like boys' humour that I forgot why they're trying to tell jokes in the first place.
Yeah.
And that work really helps provide that support, and also for the actors in the room, like they can go, wow, like yeah, because we don't always get access to, you know, like mental health workshops or anything like that. To be in a room and just like kind of get that for free, but for your characters, you know. It's super helpful. So the support from all of our like organisations has just been phenomenal.
Yeah. And how do you balance creating such like work that balances being funny and comical, but also being socially conscious and trying to tell that message of love, or trying to tell these different stories from boys who have different lived experiences?
It has to be rooted in one thing. Which is love, and everybody can relate to that. And I think, you know, you just acting is a discipline and it is a craft, right? But I think a lot of it is about being present. A lot of it is about, I mean, you can do all the amazing character work and all that stuff, but it's about like getting in a room or a theatre or, you know, in front of cameras and really just like allowing yourself to be, I think. And but writing is something different from my experiences so far. Writing is like warfare. Like it is, you know, you are tough. Yeah, right. It's tough because you're constantly trying to go, oh, but that thing could mean that thing, and if I say that, then that would mean that in scene 3. So you just go at it. You consistently just throw yourself at it, and I think eventually, because it is rooted in one thing, all of those things, the comedy, the political messages, even though they're sort of subliminal and subtle, like it all adds up, you know? Yeah. It all adds up. And then it all is, it arrives. And then when actors start speaking the words, I mean, a lot of that is done for you anyway. Yeah. So
they bring a whole new atmosphere, I guess, to what...
their lives.
Yeah, their lived experiences and bringing that. Is there a moment or a line in the play that you feel like really captures the essence of Drive?
Oh, well, I kind of already said one about if you lead your life with love, love will follow you.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of in the same point. But I think that the point is of their band is like, if I can do anything, then imagine what you can do. Yeah. Because like boys like that shouldn't make it. A lot of them don't. A lot of them do stay on the streets and, you know, and end up becoming products of their environment. And I think the show is about empowering people like that to grow from that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being from a working class background, but I think there is something unjust about not living a fulfilled life. Yeah. And I think when you're from those backgrounds, it's very easy to fall into those traps because you need to make money, you need to do this, you need to figure yourself out quicker than other people do. And you know, if these boys can make it, and if they can go on to have the influence and share the love that they go on and do, then it's really a message to everybody else. It's like, well, imagine what you can do, because they in a way, they're people that shouldn't be doing this. They should be hating the world, and you know, because they live difficult lives at a young age, but they're finding the courage and the strength to kind of go, well, I'm not going to allow my demons or my environment to get a hold of me totally. I'm going to like overcome this, and I'm going to make something of myself. So it's about inspiration, really.
And what do you think has been the biggest lesson that you've learned in your personal life as Joe that is translated into...
I'm 25, I've still got time to go.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What
that's like translated into the play, though.
Oh, wow. I mean, so much. I mean, all these things, like, I believe that if you lead your life with love, love will follow you. You know, I mean, that really is like such a big one. Let me think. Let me see if there's like any early ones.
It's a big question. It's hard.
I guess think about the collective and not the individual. Like, you are greater than yourself because there are things greater than you.
Yes.
And I think when we lean into those things innately, naturally, like, life does just make sense. You know, it really just, things just do fall into place. And I think that's one thing I've had to learn. Because when you've started something, like, you have started something, you have to acknowledge, okay, I have started something.
Yeah.
But I am not the one finishing it. You know, I'm pushing through, but, you know, it's all these other people around me that are making this happen. So we're sharing this together.
And what's been the most rewarding part of making Drive? Even though it's not finished, you've still...
Not finished, yeah. The experiences, you know, it is the journey, it is all that cliche stuff, but it really is, you know, meeting like all the boys, meeting Harry, you know, just having a laugh in the room. Like, it is my dream. Like, when I was young going to the theatre, I saw a few things that made me go, oh yeah, that feels like me, that sounds like me. But a few. And they definitely weren't being made like by people like who were like me, right? Those people were few and far between. And like, there is a little part in me that when I'm in the room and I'm seeing it all happen, I'm like, bloody hell, like my 15-year-old self would be like kicking himself in the, like, oh my god, because like, it's like I kind of got all the people that I grew up with in a way in a room, and we're making this thing work for the people that we kind of grew up with. And you know, that really is such a joy. And then also it's like when you see them then being up on stage and you see how an audience reacts. Because it's like, it is a play, but it's really a show. Yeah. You know, and those are two different things.
Yeah.
There's so much audience interactions. And when you see the audience really enjoying it and they're laughing and they're, you know, they're having a good time, there's like singing the songs sometimes, you know. You're like, oh, like, you know, this is cool. This is amazing that something can grow in that way and it can be like felt by so many people in that way, you know, in a live experience. So probably those two things.
I feel like people really underestimate like how important the audience is.
Most.
Like, I've gone out to do shows and the audience are just dead, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like this is a rehearsal. Whereas when the audience are live, you just feel like, wow, like I'm in it, I'm
they're on your
excited.
side. They're a character in the play.
Absolutely.
You know, and you have to listen to them. And I do think great actors and great performers, great anyone really, has an eye for that. They're able to foresee how an audience may react to something. Yeah. And that is like, whew, you know, how you can guess what a collective may respond or not. You know, maybe you're just purely instinctive running with it and they're just observing you. But I think it's an amalgamation of both. I mean, you know, and it is for them. You know, and this show particularly is for them because we've got those people really coming down watching the show. Yeah. So we have to cater to them.
And how would you describe Drive in 3 words? I know that's hard.
Fun, lovable, and chaotic.
Amazing. And as a lasting note, why should people come and see Drive? What is so special about it?
I think the messages that I think that we are putting out there as a creative team, I don't know if they've been seen before. Like, I'm not just saying that like to blow smoke up my arse. Like, I'm genuinely not. But like, I mean, maybe they have. I mean, every story is the same. Truly, to be honest, every story is Romeo and Juliet, right?
Yeah.
That's what they say. But I do think there is something unique about the way that we are doing it. You know, we all know that we need like love in our lives.
Yeah.
We all know that we should support people. And we all know that some people, you know, have it tougher than others, right? Mm-hmm. But I think there's just a way that, and there's a rhythm that we're approaching it, because it is so much about love and passion and drive, that really just celebrates these messages in a way that I don't think has been seen before. At least I haven't seen that play yet in my mind. And I think that's really the unique thing, and it's an opportunity to experience like a story like that in a way that I don't think has been done before.
Amazing. And this is a little bit separate from Drive, but just as a podcast, it's all about inspiring the next generation of creatives.
Amazing.
So what advice would you give to somebody who has an idea in their head and wants to put that pen to paper and wants to start writing?
Take caffeine tablets.
In your sixth form common room.
Yeah, in your sixth form common room right now. No, don't do that. Like anything? Like, does it have to be a play or is it just anything?
Just anything. They just have an idea and they're ready to...
If you feel like it's meant for you, do it. Mm-hmm. Start it. It doesn't matter if it's shit.
Mm-hmm. Because like, the first draft will be.
It will be, no?
That's part of it.
It will be. And the next draft, will you be trying to figure out, like, what the hell you mean, you know, by all these ideas? You just have to give it a go, you know? You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself no matter what. And I think... you know, listen to yourself. Whatever is telling you to give you that idea in the first place, it hasn't come from nowhere. Like, you are not just making it up. Like, it's arrived to you from some force, you know? Yeah. However you believe in that. And you have to pursue it. You know, you've got one life. And Gavin, who's in the show, has got an amazing quote that you should die empty.
Done everything, yeah.
Done everything, you know. And the saddest thing in life is wasted talent. Yeah. It's not fulfilling. And whatever that is for you, you know. It doesn't always have to be like, you know, write a play. It could be anything, you know. Go have that chat with that person is enough. Like, that might open up a door. But yeah, I think just if you feel it, you have to do it. Because I think the pain of suppression is far worse than the pain of expression.
Yes, I love that.
I got bars today. I'm not going to lie.
I'm going to be using that.
Yeah, I got bars today.
No, but Joe, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It's been amazing. I'm so excited to watch Drive. Let's get those flyers out.
Yeah.
Everybody, please go and watch Drive. It's going to be at Seven Dials Playhouse, this iteration. And it's going to be on from the 22nd to the 25th of October.
Yep.
So we will see you there. Thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you.
And we will see you all next week on Young and Unscripted. Bye.